I'm going to be honest. They have the best work environment possible. They just get to see all the dogs all the time, walking around Blizzard campus.
I'm very jealous. Except I have my own
so
dog
sad.
and I have 2 cats. So I feel like I have my own little zoo at home. But still, more dogs is better.
I would love a dog. Or I'd love a cat.
But you have your fish.
Oh, man, it's like apartment life.
Can you not cuddle
yeah,
your
I have
fish?
No.
Well, see, that's just sad.
No. I'm just going to put it out there. Unfortunately,
no, they don't
not,
swim into your hand.
Look,
and, like, you know, like, you've seen those videos where the fish like swims into your hand and then it like sits around and, you know, like snuggles you?
Yeah, if I put food in my hand and then dip my hand in the tank, maybe some of them would come up and take it from me, but probably not my little reticulated hill streamer, which is what I posted on Twitter.
It's pretty cute.
Just a minute ago, yeah. They are pretty adorable, yeah. They have their own little personalities. It's kind of, yeah, it's crazy. You wouldn't think something that small would have its own little personality.
Did you know the sharks have big personalities too? They're like dogs. They're like big puppies.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a cool video. This is the last talking point on pets or like animals, I promise. But there is a cool video on YouTube that I saw the other day of a tiger shark that recognized a diver for like years and years and years, and then COVID happened, and the shark, I assume, missed the diver, and then when the diver came back, eventually, you know, they ended up like reuniting with this this female tiger shark, and they, you know, the tiger shark recognized the human diver, which is really awesome. And yeah, it's really awesome. They do like pets too.
Speaking of sharks, San Francisco Shock, I feel like are going to be the sharks in this match. They smell blood in the water right now. I think they're, you know, starting to ramp up to get those 2 wins the desk was talking about to solidify themselves as 2nd seed. What do you think, Jack?
Yeah, it feels pretty unlikely that they're going to lose here today against the Paris Eternal. They do need those 2 wins, and their 2 games that they need to play are this Paris one, and they need to play London. So you'd expect this one to be a dub for the Shock. The London one may be a bit closer. Of course, London are pretty damn happy after that 3-0 versus New York Excelsior. Can the Shock do the same thing? Can they 3-0 London? And of course, they only need the win. There's no real like score line implications there. So just even if it's a 5-mapper, it's all good. But you can almost guarantee Shock are going to win, just on the caliber of players playing on the San Francisco Shock. And Paris, of course, having a little rough time this season. Here's your starting lineup on your screen. It's going to be the same old for the Paris Eternal. No swaps around, of course. And you know, this weekend is kind of their final hurrah. They have provided entertainment in the camps,
I was going to say, what is Rack Attack eating? Because it looks really good. And I kind of want to. I love bread.
Is that a whole baguette? Is he just holding and eating a whole baguette?
Isn't that a little ironic? Doesn't he play Brig?
Yeah, I mean, and he's playing on Paris, right? So pretty, I guess, on theme. Nice, I like
love it.
You know, a bit of bread every now and then without anything in it.
Got a carbo load before your big day. Although I think you're supposed to do that at night, but I still respect it.
I mean, that's fine. I used to do that as a student. I was a very poor student. Felt pretty bad. I just don't want to get off this. Can we just get off this Rack Attack? No, we should go to Shock. We should go to Shock.
Sorry.
If he eats that during the game, maybe gives him some super special energy. Oh, he's waving at the camera. There you go. He noticed us. Woo! I hope you're enjoying your baguette, your bread, Rack Attack. All right, here's the lineup for the San Francisco Shock starting today. We've got Striker, Proper, Kalush, and Violet to round it out. There's been a lot of talk of MVP, Rookie of the Year, and whatnot. A little bit of debate, I think, with MVP. Of course, Mitch was saying how he likes Smurf, but I think the majority of what I can tell, at least, have gone with Proper, the main man on your screen right there. Has just been a superstar this season.
And he has.
Potentially bagging the double award too.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe he gets the Alarm Rookie of the Year alongside the MVP. I just want to point out that we've had like 3 DPS, I think, in the past 4 years. I just want to point that out there. So maybe it is time for the tanks to see some of the spotlight. I mean, Kalush, Crawley, we've seen a lot of really great things from both of these players, and I think especially for Crawley, what's been really impressive is just how he's been able to slot into the roster, and the team looks to be in pretty good spirits today. You know, we've talked a little bit about how they've had to come together as a team a little bit later on into the season. Unfortunately, they have to go up against the you know, the behemoths that are the San Francisco Shock that have had just an outstanding run of the season so far. But, you know, let's see what the games have for us today.
Yep, there is the map lineup for you. Ilios Eichenwalde, Route 66, Coliseum, Busan, if we really need to go there. Yeah, the Shock start come with Striker and Proper. You can only imagine Striker's either going to play the Sombra or the Tracer. And then Proper, being the hyperflex that he is, can play pretty much whatever he wants. Shock of a lot of people, it feels like they can play Tracer at a very high level. Those two being Proper and Striker, which is a little bit insane.
Well, it's cool to see.
Feels like some teams didn't have a Tracer player at the start of the year, and Shock have...
Yeah, they have too many. Shock, why are you hoarding all the Tracer players, huh? That's just unfair. That's why they're so strong, Jack. They've denied so many teams a
too
good
many Tracer players.
Player.
Is that the strat for off-season?
Yeah, just hoard
like, okay,
all
we're
of
going
the
to sign
good,
6 Tracer
hoard all the
players.
good Sojourns or something. I don't know, like, with all the Genjis.
It's like the Lucio epidemic at the beginning of the season. Like, wait, we forgot main support. Why did we sign up main support?
Fine.
Says 3 or 4 teams at the very start of the season who run double flex.
It's okay.
Yeah, that was rather funny. All right, Shock, what do you got for us? Gonna roll out with a TP. There you go. Striker on the Tracer. His like for like is gonna be dub on Tracer in this map, or this round at least. See what Proper can do on the Echo. Still an incredibly strong character, the Echo. Just with the power of tanks, especially D.Va and Zarya, that copy can just be disgusting. Playing against, oh, well, Dove's dead to Violet. Playing against, like, double Zarya is just pain. Like, no one dies because there's, like, infinite bubbles.
It's a little tough. I would say, though, maybe Maltho is set up pretty well here. You know, you're definitely looking at it from the perspective of the Genji being able to help kind of put some pressure onto the Echo if you can dash up into the sky. But at the end of the day, you know, when you're running the D.Va and you're running the Genji that both have damage mitigation tools, it's not going to help you against an Echo.
Yeah, you do need a hefty amount of peel from Kaluj and Proper. Point has been taken. Crowry resets. All right, Paris Turner get to go again. I guess they've got Nano coming up, which feels pretty good. The only problem here I do find, Rose, is Marvel just getting consistent damage now. Like, he can't really shoot Proper or Striker. With ease, at least. I guess he can shoot the D.Va, but you still have a pretty strong Matrix. So that Nano Blade probably not going to end up coming to fruition. It's more there just for the Blade to force the Transcendence, and then Nano onto D.Va to one-shot somebody.
Yeah, you're definitely looking at Lucamino just heavily outpacing this Blade generation right now. So Lucamino could actually probably use the Nano onto someone like Crowley and try to put some pressure onto the back line. You know, when you have that defense matrix, you can easily dive the Ana. You're not going to get slept nearly as easily if you can just kind of run at her with the boosters, and then also defense matrix and rockets.
Oh, big Nano. Oh, he didn't. Whoa! He thought he killed Lucamino there. Lucamino just threw out the Nano onto Crowley, did end up getting slept, but Proper gets taken care of. Didn't even have time to use that copy. And with Kaluj dead, the San Francisco Shock are getting run off the point. Evicted, in fact, as Violet jumps out the window to his death. Crowley's going to hit the reset real fast. The rest of his team are going to be there to cap the point.
Yep, there it goes. All right. Yeah, so Crowley gonna go ahead and get the resets, and then Violet's actually gonna be switching off of the Ana and going over to the Baptiste. You know, Jack, this is a character that I felt like we weren't really going to see a whole lot of, and we didn't at the beginning of the season. It's really just been this last stage where we've seen the Baptiste really take off in popularity. It is the Immortality field here, but Violet can't get it out.
Alrighty, yeah. And Finn going down, there's no Transcendence to kind of match that Blade. All right, Paris Turner. Can they stagger Collusion? Well, you can't stagger it too far, I suppose. You're right next to the edge of the map, so you can jump off pretty easily.
Look at the ult charge.
All right, Shock do have copy, so double D.Va, or even, well, I want to see what Proper's going to go for, okay? Look, to be MVP, you got to be the most valuable player. Maybe a copy of support, go for a little Chad 1v1 versus Rack Attack or Lucamino or something.
Bap actually makes like a, I guess you can't actually use the Baptiste there, but I would say maybe the Zen would be a pretty fun choice, unless you could copy someone on your team. Could you imagine? That'd be pretty broken.
That's why I choose to copy as Echo. Just the fun choice, not the choice that actually works out. Just the fun hero. Self-destruct on the point. Kaluj ends up dodging it. Takes a lot of damage from that remake. But the Paris Eternal have still lost 3. It's only Krawi and Lucamino trying to hold down the point, and they're not going to be able to do so successfully. And the Shock managed to take that pretty vanilla. Now they've got a side of chocolate, looks like, as Striker, Proper, and Finn have all got the sauce in their back pocket. They've got the ults, they've just saved them. I mean, 5 ults to the final fight. Paris Eternal are going to be able to triple blink onto the point, or at least Dove is on Paris. Okay, there's the contest. Now they need to just juggle it as fast as possible. Wow, Dove got deleted. Actually, absurd level of damage there coming out from Striker. Pretty easy clean up on Mouthful. And the Shock, well, they didn't really need their ults at the end of that one, Rose.
Nope, I don't think so. I mean, you may as well just use them just to the sustain, I guess. Like, you have the insurance policy of the Transcendence, and just throwing everything out there, you would assume that hitting Q would actually convert over to value. But Paris Eternal, like, I respect the fact that they played through those fights with a specific game plan in mind. You know, they were able to use like maybe one ultimate to flip the team fight or keep going through those team fights. Shock though, like not having to use anything, that really does make a statement in this match.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of rough. Yeah, it's kind of like how else do you really put that, right? It's pretty rough having Shock, who are 18-4, one of those dominant teams in Overwatch League history, even with their current team, facing against Paris Eternal, who are 1-21. I mean, at least getting the single win of the season, it feels pretty nice. And obviously, Paris roster has been chopped and changed throughout the season, so just any kind of decent practice here is going to be good. Making yourself look good for next year. Rack Attack under a little bit of pressure. Wow, Striker just kind of runs him over. That is not great. That Discord Orb and a couple of orbs thrown in by Finn will help secure the kill. Striker still running rings around the backline of the Paris Eternal. Lucamino even had to use that shift to heal himself back up. The Shotgun are going to take first control as a rather an orthodox pick here, Rose, with Kaluge on the Sigma.
Yeah, I would have never really expected this, but Kaluge has said on multiple occasions that he is one of the best, if not the best, Sigma in the league, and I think that this is great practice for him to be able to use it. Ruins offers you a lot of great places to try to dance around your shield and just kind of play those angles. And if you have a Zarya, you know, you're really hoping that for Paris that Krawi can kind of just walk up and walk through that shield and try to laser Kaluge down, but it's pretty difficult to do so when you've got Striker in your backline ready for the pulse bomb.
Yeah, Krawi there taking a wave of damage from Striker sitting up on that high ground. Still holding on to that pulse bomb. Kaluge does end up getting hacked in the side, and now is the time for Paris to turn to go. They lay down the window, but they're not making good use of it, as Rack Attack and Lucamino both deal with Striker. Not sure how much value the window got, but killing Striker is going to be a good start at least. The Paris Eternal do end up flipping, but the Shock want to bite back. Proper uses the ult, is getting chased down, and he's got a window staring in front of him, but decides just not to use it. Even a Transcendence thrown in. San Francisco Shock, even after losing Striker, are determined to flip this point over. The Paris Eternal with no ults really left in their bank, at least to fight on the point with, end up going down. But Grav, Beat, and EMP are available for their next attack.
They have a lot of tools to work with here, and Paris does have 15% on the point. So it's not like, you know, they're struggling to actually get any percentage, and when you've got the Sombra in the back too, you're trying to hit the Baptiste, no immortality field.
Oh! Oh, where'd he go? Oh, where'd he go? Oh my god, Dove didn't even get half a clip out there. And ended up instantly dying. It was a decent EMP, but yeah, there wasn't really too much follow-up there from the Paris Eternal. Feels like they were a little bit, I wouldn't say like lagging behind or anything,
I don't think they were quite ready
exactly
in position. Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking too,
yeah.
Is that, you know, the Sigma is so good at holding that front line that it can be difficult for Paris to actually push through that. So, yeah, you know, hopefully with the beat they can get themselves back in the game, but they got 3 seconds, gotta get the point.
Yep, someone is testing, so they're all good. And there's the beat. Hits 4, Paris Eternal marching on. Krawi still has the grab, but Kaluge is sitting up on the high ground, ready to eat it. He's actually just staring Krawi in the eyes, ready for him to unleash the grab. The lamp has been used already on the side of the San Francisco Shock, and that Graviton Surge just not really doing all of anything, as Violent and Proper just took it in their stride and erased the members of the Paris Eternal who were shooting into the Graviton Surge to members of the Shock. There's the flip once again, 99% will tick over to 100, and the San Francisco Shock will take map number 1.
Pretty clean victory, I think, there for San Francisco. I think they just put in the chat C9 or something. That's wrong. That was not a C9. That was not even close. No, that was just super clean there from the Shock.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of expect that from the Shock at this point in time. Yeah, good round, good fight, good game. Any one of those, there you go, you can use them. All right, Paris Eternal, what you got for us? We're going to go on to the next map after the break. The Shock looking as dominant as ever, though. We'll see in a bit.
Overwatch League champions! Whoever said lightning doesn't strike twice has never met the San Francisco Shock.
Just the depth of talent on their roster that can't be denied.
Some of the most hardcore carry performances that I've ever seen.
This is going to be a wild ride.
Somehow Violet's going to come to the rescue, get a double kill. Kalu says, how about that one, Chief? See you later.
Dude, his aim is so crispy.
Man, does it miss those? Holy cow!
Sam straights the backline, insta killing.
Oh my
Mikey. San Francisco, the greatest team in Overwatch.
Don't miss the ultimate celebration of the Overwatch League's 5th season. Come see your heroes rise at Grand Finals. Tickets available for November 3rd and 4th. And get yours before they go at overwatchleague.com/2022/playoffs. It's gonna be a good time. Cannot wait to be there. One team that's gonna be there, San Francisco Shock, who are gonna be in the playoffs. So, Paris Eternal, unfortunately not there. Maybe next year. Maybe next year with a little retooled roster, maybe, or maybe they want to stick with it. Off-season's always an interesting one. Hopefully it's short this time around. We can get a big turnaround on that so the season can get started again. All right, the Shocker in this series, Rose. They've already got 1-0. I mean, what can Paris do on the other side of this?
I want to see them, you know, if Kalush starts to stick a little bit more to the Diva, you know, Matt and Mitch were talking about this in their first game of the day, and that's like, the fact that Zarya can do a lot of damage to a Diva because you're not able to use your defense matrix to actually mitigate any of that beam damage. It really is about just kind of running at somebody and trying to get some work done. But even on Ruins, you know, it was against the Sigma, so maybe that's a little bit different. But I'd love to see Crowley play a little bit more of the Zarya and see if that works out for them on Eichenwalde, and you can definitely do that here.
Yeah, I do very much like the Zarya on this map in particular, especially if you've got Lucio. It's pretty easy to kind of get through that choke, just bubble everybody and then kind of run through, go to the left, wrap around kind of thing. All right, let's... Okay, so Dove's going to be on the Sojourn, yeah, Muffle on the Tracer. Now, the San Francisco Shock, I don't think they're going to run with Doom. You know what I would like to see? Just give me some more Kalush hogs. Let's see some hog Kalush.
Hog?
Just... Yeah, just give me the hog.
No. San Francisco.
Hog funny.
Okay, listen. I get it. Hog funny. But you've seen the hero tier list from our fantastic Overwatch 2 creators.
True.
I am inclined to agree with them that
tier.
Hog is like D tier right now, and I feel like Shock don't want to take that risk, knowing that there's seeding on the line for playoffs. Maybe third map, okay?
Yeah, that is
Maybe
very
third
true.
Map.
That is very true. Yeah, if they're 2 maps up, come on, man. Just get a little 10-minute on the hog. Okay, he's running Sigma. I mean, not quite the hog, but still, again, a bit different from what we usually see on these kind of maps. And I guess Kalush is just trying to pad those stats, you know what I'm saying? Just, if he thinks he's the best,
really
then
become
just keep
the best.
Running.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just keep running, get Braxton with it. Oh, Violet, unlucky. That was a really nice wraparound from Paris Eternal there, just using the speed boost to get behind the San Francisco Shock, who don't have a Lucio of their own. They should be able to collapse and kill Finn too. There you go. Alrighty. All right. Proper does get vaporized, though. I mean, Dove gets vaporized by Proper even. So he's still lost a single person.
Yeah, that's you know, Sojourn can come back so fast, though. So maybe Dove is able to come back in time before San Francisco really starts to make a move in it. And that's what I mean, though. Look at Crowley just kind of running at him.
Jesus. Just let him play the game proper, please. Alrighty. Now the big flank. Another kill for Proper or Kalush. Doesn't matter who, as long as they get the kills on the point. All good. First point should be capped now. No chance Paris Eternal touch, even with a Lucio available.
No, I don't think so. Look at Crowley's actually going to give up the Zarya here. Wants to go over to the Diva, maybe just to be able to contest the high ground a little bit more. But I think that's smart. The Sigma really felt like it was sort of dono walling the Zarya from being able to actually do any damage, you know? Just with the shield and really forcing Crowley to not be able to make it past it. So maybe the Diva is the right call. You can at least micro-missile the shield.
I always thought when Sigma got released, I was like, I wonder if Diva can eat the rock. Obviously, that's not the case, but I think that would be rather funny. Rather comical. Strike with the pole spot. Hunting the supports right now, but it is Finn that is getting hunted by the Paris Eternal. They've already found one. I guess at least they trade here, but a window at the gate from Violet should seal the deal. Paris can't really step into those sight lines or risk death. It looks like they gambled it all and lost it. San Francisco Shock do end up pushing on forward, and as soon as you get collusion on this high ground, Rose, it's going to be a nightmare to dislodge it.
Yeah, it's going to be super tough.
I
mean, but that's great though. If Kalush can get up onto, you know, the bridge or just any sort of height, then you can just use the gravitic flux as soon as people move in. Lucamino has the...
All right, good wraparound once again from Paris, using that speed boost to... Oh, good effect. How about that window,
I
son?
feel like it worked the opposite
All right,
way.
Finn takes care of him. Oh, yeah. It's like one of those one-way mirrors. Oh, my God, that was almost extremely hard to say. Soundbearer comes out for the Paris Eternal, though. They want to hold on to this point. Proper and Striker still are hunting. They're actually split up the Paris Eternal. That B only hit 2 people for Paris. They do have to contend with this Flux, which Galooz is thrown out. Malful and Rakatak do end up killing a couple of the Shock members, but it shouldn't matter all too much. No recall and no hope left for Paris on the second point, and Shock will manage to cap.
Yeah, a quick cap too. I actually thought that might have actually been a C9.
Okay.
Oh, speaking of which, I was...
Stolen health back?
I was mistaken, by the way. It was actually GR that was said in the chat after the round. I promise you, Shock aren't
good round,
toxic.
good fight.
I'm just blind. I'm just blind and stupid.
I'm going to be real. I wouldn't have... Look, I wouldn't have put it past Galooz to say C9.
No, he was
this
being
point, or anybody
nice.
says.
They were being so wholesome in the chat, and I'm just like, nah, they're toxic. My bad.
All right. Well, that's a little toxic from Crowy. Just diving Finn in the back. All right, it's go time for Proper, though. That ultimate is rather devastating to low HP targets like Crowy and Malful. Self-destruct removes the lamp, but that's about it. And now Rakatak trying to get some solo coups of his own, trying to pad some stats even more, but it's actually Proper stats that are being padded there. Now, the window available for Proper, a pulse bomb for Striker versus absolutely nothing on the Paris Eternal side, a vanilla fight. Once again, as they move in to try and defend this last checkpoints. Window used, and Crown just trying to stop Striker from getting to the backline, but he's already weaved his way in there. A fade from Lucamino to keep him alive, but not quite so lucky as he runs head first onto that point. And back into the Spore, and the San Francisco Shock do end up capping with 3 minutes and 26 seconds on the clock.
This is also the second time that I have seen Striker just hold on to the Pulse Bomb and not use it. Like, I saw it on Ruins. He didn't really use it to try to take out a target, and here as well, even trying to clean up the last stragglers of Paris Eternal, held on to it. I don't think he needs it. Like, the amount of damage that he's doing, I just don't actually think he needs the Pulse Bomb. Maybe just making sure that he doesn't accidentally walk into it and take himself out.
Yeah, I mean, look, those mistakes are best be avoided. We've seen, to be fair, we've seen a lot of like wall pulse bombs.
True.
This stage,
and then you, like,
I feel. I
accidentally
don't know why.
blink into it.
Oh yeah, I was the king of doing that at one point. I don't really play Tracer that much at all, but there is egregious amount of clips of me trying to go for the instant blink pulse, and I just end up blinking and then just done.
Oh, Proper.
Yeah.
The prediction.
You do be killing people.
Actually, unbelievable. I mean, I totally understand why people are looking at this player as an MVP, you know, winner, and also an Alarm Rookie of the Year winner. I'm just like, I personally want to spread the love a little bit. He's still good though. I'm not trying to take that away from him. But just like, you know, spread the love. Everybody gets a title.
I feel like this weekend is going to be just arguments. And like, not even subtweeting, just...
When?
Did Dove just get killed in Fizz by Finn? Okay, well.
How?
That happened. There's been a surprising amount of those as well, Rose, actually. Just Sombra's getting rolled while they're stealthed by like Kantos or Zens or something.
Oh
yeah.
no. That's
Feels pretty bad, feels pretty bad, but it's okay. Quick reset for Dove, all good, all good. Nothing
There's some like good voice lines
Speed boost, Paris
for that
Eternal.
too, when you hear that when it happens.
Yeah.
They thought about this. The developers thought about this.
They did. I mean, yeah, it's pretty embarrassing as a Sombra player, let's be real. Feels pretty good as a Zen player, although it's like, well, you can't really... It's not like it was hella skill, it was just good timing on your half, right? Shooting an Impus Sombra. All right, Paris Eternal using their speed boost to navigate around the choke and navigate to the backline of the San Francisco Shock. Ooh, Proper Violet's damage there. I mean, ideally, Paris jump onto one target. It's pretty easy, but with Galooz kind of chilling and, well, Proper having the disruptor shot, there's a lot of like AoE. Oh, here's the right click. Okay, what happened? Oh, he just right clicked in the choke and he got the kill. That's crazy.
Unbelievable. So it was unplanned, but it works. It works.
Yes, we'll call it planned. Let's make it look cool. All good. All right, Striker's got the pulse. Is he going to hold it for the rest of time? We'll see, because Proper's already got a kill onto Luca Mino. Oh, the pulse bomb from Striker. Yeah, okay. Maybe he's not going to hold it. He's going to get some style kills there on a rack attack.
It's going to be another reset here for Paris. At this point, they're just playing to get the EMP online. That should be able to at least open up some access to the backline. But, you know, Finn is very much keeping up with Dove right now. Not only getting the insane right click onto him as he was walking through the choke, but also just being able to get that Transcendence online for when Dove's EMP comes up. You know, Paris then have a second hurdle to cross, which is force out the Transcendence and then go in with the EMP.
Look at that. Instant speed boost there. You hear that flat screen going down.
Right.
You just want to run away ASAP. They didn't even want to peek it. Nope. I remember when window was a square, and now it is just humongous. It's a little bit insane to think about. All right, there's the Coalescence. Here's the engage from Paris Eternal. They got the Blade and the EMP coming up, and Finn's already dead. A decent start. No Transcendence to try and counter that Blade or the EMP that Paris Eternal have in their back pockets. Marvel's going to go in. A beautiful hack onto Violet does end his life pretty sharpish. Proper takes him down, but still Paris, if they manage to win this fight with ults, checkpoint B might be a little bit easier, or at least the first section of checkpoint B. And it looks like they're going to be able to save all of them except the Coalescence. So an unbelievable push there from Paris.
That was beautiful for Paris there. I mean, being able to go in with just the Coalescence and get as much done as you did leaves them wide open. Taking out Finn first, I mean, that just bypasses that hurdle that they would have had to go through. And so perfect positioning and also patience, because now they do have the EMP, they have the Blade, they have all of these beautiful tools to work with. And as long as Dove can get up on the high ground and Shock, you know, fall victim to this, I think Paris is going to be in a good spot. Good momentum.
I mean, they could EMP on high ground here, just send that Blade up.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to see where Dove is going to position. Looks like he's, again, going around the back to maybe target Finn. Now we're on board with Striker, who's still got a pulse bomb available. EMP does land. It lands on both Violet and Finn, taking them out. Once again, that Transcendence not being able to be used in these fights. Finn is just getting erased by the Paris Eternal right now. A real vendetta, it feels like. Shock do get another attempt, of course, as this point is rather long. Although taking control of height is going to be pretty nice. But Paris Eternal slowly but surely rose, getting through their ultimates. Their staggering of ults is kind of exceptional at this point, although Shock have built up to a healthy amount of their own.
Yeah, they have. I mean, you can just use the Transcendence now, I guess, because you're not really waiting for anything in particular now.
Two-man beat, Blade comes out, the hack once again onto Violet, but he can't get taken down. Finally, the Transcendence is used. Malfoy's Blade looking hella dull. Oh, 7-8 swings on Violet, and he took almost 0 damage thanks to that Transcendence. Paris Eternal do end up using their beat and Blade in that fight, but the San Francisco Shock had the perfect trance timing to stop that push.
So maybe it worked out for the better, you know? Finn does have a tough job where you want the Transcendence and you want the Immortality field for a lot of different things on Paris. The Dragon Blade, the EMP, maybe even Diva Bomb if you're not able to get out of the way when Crowley tries to remech. And also just if the Coalescence ends up being a lot of damage too, then yeah, it's tough to figure out when to use for what.
Little high DPI gameplay there from Luca Mino. All right, they try and push up high ground with that Coalescence. You see him like 180 constantly because the DPS from the San Francisco Shock are trying to get behind him. Self-destruct for Kalush to remech as Paris pushed onto the bridge.
Yeah, so another good contest can come in here from the Shock. Proper can go ahead and pop the overclock here. Look how aggressive that Proper is getting too. Oh, but the EMP first!
Oh, good EMP. Yeah, nice. It catches Finn right on the edge of that EMP. That was pretty well timed there from Dove and pretty well placed. Paris Eternal going to enter the castle with time to spare. 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Not going to be able to get a better time than Shock at this point, but still a pretty damn good push so far.
Yeah, well, they got to complete the map, and so they have tons of time now to be able to do it. 2 minutes is a lot to work with, and that's going to be at least enough to get them another EMP. Dove's been building these up fairly fast, and they have been able to convert over to fight wins for Paris. So really, Paris want to win this fight here and then have the EMP online to really sink the payload home.
All right, they're going to make that push, and Finn once again is the target for the Paris Eternal. Their dives have been kind of immaculate. Every single time, going for Finn, taking him down, whether that's a hack or whatever, just the overwhelming amount of damage. Nothing stands in their way of killing Finn, that is for sure. Just like I said before, like a true vendetta against Finn right now. All right, Proper in a little bit of trouble. Kalush with the backup manages to take down Malfoy. The two-man dive with the Paris Eternal not working out too well as Proper takes to the front line all on his lonesome. Eventually joined by Kalush, but now they make their push to try and punish Paris before they get back to the point. 1 minute and 11 seconds to go as the payload now is slowly regressing, but Paris again have a wealth of ultimates.
Yeah, they took an eco push there to be able to get 4 online, and then by the time they actually use those ults, you can use the sound barrier and the coalescence to sustain, and then by that point, Dove should have the EMP. And so it's gonna probably be overtime, but Paris have to finish this map, and they're gonna be playing for a draw here.
Oh. Nice early EMP. Malfoy's still got that blade. Can they make a comeback? He's jumping in. Oh, that looks way better now. Oh, but Proper shuts him down. A swift headshot to Malfoy does end his life, but the rest of the San Francisco Shock are going to fall around him. It was a 4-for-1 trade there with Paris Eternal now self-destructing on the point to try and get this cap. Striker eventually torn down. And with 20 seconds to go, they don't want to land this in OT, otherwise they won't get another attack. Proper back on the Genji. Rack Attack goes back to eating his baguette as he is torn apart. And Paris losing numbers. They do unleash the EMP, but a nicely timed lamp there from Violet does save Kalush and Finn's life. Overtime is approaching. No C9s today. 0.24 meters as now the time will tick down rather quick. It's only Crowie and then Rack Attack to try and get back, but they're taken care of rather swiftly. I mean, Dove's going to get in there, but it's basically all over. They're not even going to get a second round as the San Francisco Shock will take map number 2.
Whew, that was so close. Paris just actually did such a good job on that map. It just wasn't quite enough. Like, they didn't have enough time to work with, or, you know, Dove's EMP didn't come online maybe as fast as they would have wanted it to, but Jack, that was close. That was really close. Paris had some great fights there.
Yeah, honestly, a lot closer than you'd kind of expect.
Wait.
Kind of expecting it might be a little bit of a roll, but Paris's use of ultimates, especially going from first to second, like, look pretty damn solid. So they're coming back with it. You love to see it.
Wait,
again, it's
chat. Kalush says Finn had 11 deaths, and Luke Camino's like, I only had 10. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, Kalush says gap. True and
True
real.
And real.
You're best friends when you can take the piss
so
out of them, that's
funny.
for sure. I mean, look, Finn did get dove 24/7. I feel you. I feel you, Finn.
Nothing he could do about it, too, to be fair. Like, that Paris had his number the entire time.
Look at that. He got dove so much he dissolved off of camera. Goodbye, Finn. Hopefully we'll be back for the third map. We're going to jump to a quick break, guys. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a bit.
Are they going to collect this match? It's wiping there with a double pulse.
Yeah, look at that. Dark hitting the old skewed happy. But it's just done away. Hit him.
Here's Eternal Fighting.
Well, they certainly are fighting right now. Iconvaldo are a little bit closer than Shock would have wanted. Finn having 11 deaths there and Kalush calling it a support gap. So, yeah, pretty, I guess you could say, rough for the Shock on the defense. They almost let Paris Eternal full cap. They did still end up coming up with a win on that map and setting themselves on match point. But Paris, yeah, definitely fighting.
They absolutely are. I'm super impressed with their performance in Iconvaldo so far. And, you know, while I always thought it would be a win for San Francisco Shock today, I didn't think it would be close. Sorry, I didn't think it would be so one-sided, right? I always thought that this would be a very close match because of how much Paris Eternal have improved as a team. I know that they're out of the running for play-ins and their season has been not what they would have hoped for, but they've fought every single match, every single day that they have had to play, and they're here to play too against San Francisco Shock, no less. Like, that's a tough team, and they made Iconvaldo very close.
They did indeed. All right, we're going to Route 66 as our next map. Is Kalush going to play Sigma again? I mean, it's not bad for this map, to be fair.
I would not hate it.
I'd be too surprised. Yeah, I mean, he's just been playing it the whole time, so wouldn't be shocked, wouldn't be surprised. They are on attack first, so I guess we get to see what Paris Eternal want to do. Oh, looks like they're going to kind of do the same thing, maybe? What's Crowley thinking? What's Crowley thinking?
Back?
Little rack attack Z.
Oh, interesting. Wait, Crowley's still thinking about it.
All right.
Okay, no,
Okay.
He's committed.
Sigma defense, probably Sigma versus Sigma in that case.
Well, I think Kalush is going to be pretty happy about that one. You know, he loves playing Sigma. I think his Diva has looked really good, but feels like Sigma really is his comfort zone, as he walked into this season of Overwatch League primarily as an off-tank player. And so you can definitely see a little bit more confidence and a little bit more comfort on those off-tank heroes. But having to also convert that into just playing a single tank can be difficult. You have a lot of different roles that you have to juggle here, most of which is most important in creating that space. And Kalush is just going to go walk up to Crowley right now. Oh, an accretion to the face!
Yeah, Crowley does need a little help. A little bit of healing from Lucamino there, keeping him topped off. Kalush the same, but from Violet. All right, high ground control is imperative. Crowley just getting bullied. Speaking about getting bullied, yeah, Finn getting his own back there. Dunked in the gunge was mouthful. This is rather a dominant position. If Kalush can hold this spot right here, Paris Eternal are going to have a very rough time on the high ground. Even Crowley, to be fair, who's stuck in that small room. Rock does go wide for Kalush, eats a little bit of damage, but Crowley does end up getting focused in the end. Strike is going to be able to help finish it up. Now, there's only a couple of members left, the Paris Eternal on that first point.
That's going to be a big stagger too, because that should reward Shock with that first cap, and then yeah, Paris are just not going to be able to come back and contest this. So you're going to see them start getting set up on the high ground of second point, right around high side. Yeah, you can see the barrier there too, just being really important. But Proper with those disruptor shots is actually making a lot of space as well. I think that's why Proper has been so impressive, because it's not just about the raw output of damage from this player, but also how he utilizes those abilities to kind of help out Kalush to create that space and also get those picks. Look at that, like the disruptor shot on the high ground actually forced Paris Eternal off of it. The disruptor shot on the corner is going to force them back. Keep an eye out for that.
Oh. Crowley looking like he wants to make a play. Yeah, has got a finite range. The disruptor shot. Oh. Is that my voice cracked there, or was that just me? Maybe that was just me, I don't know. Malfoy ends up going down to Proper. I feel like I've had too many of those this season already. Happens to everybody, I swear. All right, Striker with no pulse. No lamp for the Paris Eternal either. As the Shock, they really haven't stopped the payload from going. There will be a window for Violet there. You can see pushing the rest of the Paris Eternal. They're basically just getting corralled into this small corner. You're thinking about the disruptor shot, but like even Violet and Finn's presence on the high ground, forcing the shucking out the window. Paris don't have to back up, kind of respect it. And Paris might not even get another chance to touch. And without Lucio, there's, absolutely no chance. Wow, 5 minutes and 20 seconds.
That's so much time to work
A
with.
large time bank, that is for certain.
I mean, at this point, though, there's ults on the board here for Paris. They're going to have 5. Oh, big pick onto Striker. There you go, Rack Attack.
Oh, cheeky. Oh, dearie me. Yeah, not quite cheeky enough. That window on the back lines. I mean, Proper just dives in, hits him with the damage, and that's about it, really. Rack Attack's going to get chased down. It's a 3v5 right now, as Paris Eternal are going to have to go again. Have to back up. Nice lamp by Camino too.
Just
Crowley
plain
was
tank.
saved.
Did you see that? He was like actually ahead of Kaluge. Just like firing down the shield.
Oh, the Flux. Do they need to use the Transcendence? No, they do not. They actually only just use the lamp, and Proper still on an absolute tear. Flux from the Shock is going to do a little bit better than Paris Eternals, and Dove just gets annihilated. 4 minutes and 20 seconds for the Shock. Pushing on Route 66. Yeah, pretty hefty time bank. All things considered, they're hunting Malfoy right
Look
now.
at that. Ooh.
They found him.
Okay, a big swap ups here from Paris.
Hello.
I mean, they only have a couple more meters that they're going to be able to defend from, but you've got the Sombra, the Diva, and the Lucio on the case now. A lot of mobility here for Paris to work with.
Okay, it's a 4v4, and there's a 1v1 happening. Okay, no. Striker's joined the rest of his team once again, but Proper putting the rest of the Paris Eternal to bed by the looks of it. All those headshots not quite hitting. Dove's got the fancy footwork. The rest of his team were not quite so lucky, as they were taking a face full of orbs from Finn by the looks of it. 3 minutes and 40 seconds. 43 seconds, in fact. 3:43 for the final cap on Route 66. That is a quick time.
That's a quick time in a palindrome. How fun. Can numbers be palindromes?
We like to keep it fun.
Or is that just words?
You're asking the wrong person. You're asking the wrong person. I will. Yeah, I'm gonna let you know
Listen,
right now.
I love that we get paid to talk, but we don't know enough English to understand.
I don't know the mechanics of words. Okay. The mechanics of I can say the word. Do I know the mechanics or the spelling?
That's
Nope.
fair. No,
My
that's
spelling
fair.
atrocious.
I actually don't know if No, I can spell palindrome. I'm not gonna put my foot in my mouth on that one. I can spell it, but I don't know if it applies to numbers.
You know when we were in school, and the teachers always said, "You're never always gonna have a calculator on you. You're never always gonna have a dictionary on you. You bet." Also, I don't know if this shows. Oh man,
Does this age you? Are you about to age yourself?
I might be outing myself. Yes, I'm about to out myself maybe a little bit. But maybe this is just because I went to, I don't know what to call it. It was just a school, but when I was like super young, I got to write in cursive, like joined up writing.
Yeah. I learned that too.
I never used it ever. When am I ever going to join words? Like, who writes like that?
No,
You know
I
what
mean, I feel like it's actually
The
harder
Royals?
to read, in my opinion, because like a lot of people don't actually write in cursive, literate, like illegibly enough. So I have no idea what they're writing. So yeah, look at that.
Only doctors write in cursive, and sometimes it's a bit hard to read doctors
I think
writing.
doctor signatures are the worst one. That's the worst offender. You can't read that at all. Scribbles.
All right, let's have a look at Shock's defense. Paris Eternal again, just running this really hyper-aggressive dive with the Genji, with the Sombra. It worked well for them on Icon Vault. I mean, you might as well use it again if you find success with it. Rack Attack does end up going down. A big tool that they need to use, that speed boost to get on top of the backline of the Shock. If they can survive here, oh, beautiful hack. Can they kill Striker? No, that lamp. My word, that lamp from Violet, clutch. Saving Striker's life, enabling him to recall, and now the Paris Eternal are a bit of an awkward situation. They're not moving the payload currently, and they are getting picked off. So they need to make a play at some point. They're going to decide to dive the backline, and once again, Finn's the target. Violet also ends up falling over as Kaluge turning the fight, or potentially turning the flight with that Flux, but it didn't end up working out. Just maybe a little bit of damage, but that's about it. It's actually Proper that's making the difference on this
how did he get the Flux online so fast? Huh?
Oh, nice hack. Yeah, I guess it just took them a long time to make a move, that being Paris, and then he was just spamming into that mega health pack.
Okay, I mean, yeah, it's
shoot.
just absolutely wild. He got the Flux online so fast. That's why I was so surprised. But Shock, there's...
Don't question.
You're right.
The best Sigma.
no thoughts, head empty.
Come on, Rose.
Kalush Sigma good.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, look at me now. My word. Quick reactions there on the shift, trying to get out of the way of that window. Yeah, Kalush actually just gets run down. The Paris Eternal once again making these very aggressive dives. Nice bit of peel there from Crowley, matrixing the hacked target. And without a tank, the Shock don't really have much point presence. Crowley's been on it like a car bonnet with this Matrix. The EMP gets unleashed by Striker, but will it be enough? There's only a couple of meters to go, and it's only him to touch. No, the EMP, a bit too aggressive from Striker, trying to turn the fight once again. It's like small individual plays the Shock are trying to make, but none of them landing.
No, and I think this is, I actually see a lot of Shock's fundamentals kind of disappearing here, where Paris, the reason why this has been so close is because they're playing together as a unit. These dives are very clean. Lucamino has been pumping in tons of healing into the team, and it's actually very commendable that Paris is making this unorthodox pick of the Moira work. We kind of clowned on it a little earlier on in the stage, but it's been beautiful.
Oh, Marvel taking away the damage there. Rack Attack's beat did save him, but can it save anybody else? Proper trying to line some shots up. Gets killed by the skill orb. The Shock still have a good position though. They're on high ground with Kalush, so him just existing, it might be just good enough. But the Shock DPS line, not really syncing up super well with Kalush. Of course, they want to go on like hyper-aggressive flank routes. In fact, even more so now as Proper's changed to the Genji. Kalush backing up with his support. They're going to get a recontest, but the Paris Eternal want to make them hurt for it. A dive in onto Violet. The hack wears off, and that lamp comes out to save him just in time. A self-destruct from Quarry to create even more space, but with only one person on the payload, the Paris Eternal are moving that payload pretty damn slow. Malfoy and Proper, they do end up trading blow for blow there, with Violet falling. A better trade for the Paris Eternal is still moving that payload. Not sure who's AFK on it, but they got to check they're not AFK timed, then they won't get DC from the server. Should be good though. A 4v5 on the point now as the Shock are able to recontest as 5. And with Strike with a pulse bomb, this could be the thing that turns it around. And with Proper going down, it might be even a bit easier now for Paris Eternal. Striker hacked up, forced to recall. The San Francisco Shock somehow still in this fight, with Striker struggling to find a target to take down.
Yeah, well, Striker might be losing his window of opportunity here, as that kill feed is all Paris right now.
Yeah, it is. Lucamino, Dove, and the rest of the gang are cleaning up the San Francisco Shock. Yeah, Striker had no real say in that fight whatsoever. Quite silent, put on mute. And the San Francisco Shock let go of that second point as Paris once again making this map competitive. 3.5 minutes moving into point C.
That's a lot of time. And one of the things I'm noticing about how Paris are playing this is that they're utilizing like that Lucio speed from Rack Attack to really push the pressure onto the Shock. Kalush actually feeling that. You know, with the Sigma, you're really kind of looking to have a very stagnant defense, but at least this Zarya gives you a little bit more ability to work with, but a fat EMP!
Huge EMP. Hit 5 feels good. Can they get the cleanup? I mean, killing Violet's honestly good enough. Humongous EMP from Dove, Rose.
That was absolutely massive. Everybody kind of lined up like that to fall like dominoes. Shock did have a great disengage, though, utilizing Finn's Lucio to just get away and back up, knowing that they had lost Violet and a very significant source of healing. But, oh, this Coalescence, this really packs a punch.
Proper wants played so bad to kill that Cole. No, he's going to go down to Lucamino. Oh, the remake actually gets killed by Kalush. That's pretty bad news bears if you're Paris Eternal right now. They don't really care too much, though, as they're going to use that beat. Forces San Francisco Shock to use theirs, but Problem come out of spawn to use this blade for free at this point. Paris Eternal, oh, mouthful. Just sent to a King's Row by the looks of it there. Just flinged into the stratosphere. There's the cleanup. Blade not even needed.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think the fact that... Oh my god, there's a back cap happening!
No. Oh, it's good. We're good. No one panic.
Oh my god, could you imagine? Could you just...
That would have been the most egregious backhand in history. The payload was pretty far away. But Jesus.
Oh my god.
I mean,
it's
I'm going to be honest.
One fight between New York and London.
It
that,
could
like
happen.
the C9 plus the Ajax plus whatever else happened in that fight.
I mean...
No. Everything's good though. Everything's good. Let's go again. Let's see if Proper can get something done with this blade.
Proper. Oh, there's the grab. Once again, no blade needed for the San Francisco Shock. Really nice grab from Kalush. Only a fight and a half left for the Paris Eternal. It's going to be the Genjis dueling it out. It's Blade versus Blade. Although Striker being Striker, okay, Kalush, 7,000 DPI check. Well, they know where Dove. See how slow he was to react there.
Well, Dove wants the EMP.
Right.
You know, as you mentioned, like they're kind of running out of time here, where they have a minute left on the clock, and you know, Dove really wants this EMP to help enable this Blade from Malthul. If you don't have those cooldowns online, you can't get away, and it is going to be about the dueling Genjis here as we enter into the final fight.
All right, who's going to enter the Dragon first? Oh, Dove ends up going down. There's the Blade from Proper. He's got the support set in his sight line, but with no dash reset, he's not going to be able to get on the back. Now, the Paris Eternal trying to flee as 3 with 30 seconds to go. Lucamino gets hit with a big stagger. In fact, Krawi too, maybe. Look at this aggression from the San Francisco Shock. You love to see it. A bit of free ult charge there for Shock, plus more time off the time bank. Paris Eternal, 2 key ultimates to come back into this one. They can't get stopped on last again. Come on, Paris. Hit that third checkpoint.
They've got this. I mean, you still have to contend with the Striker's overclock. He could just pop it here, especially on the straightaway, but at this point, Paris, they've got to get back to the card. They've got to be able to use the CMP. Last time, Dove, it was big.
Or there's 4 people lined up. EMP hits 4. There you go. Damage done. Striker erased. No more overclock for you. Proper pulls the Blade and kills 1. Can he get more value? Both of his supports are currently taxiing him away to try and get back to that point. Malthul still with a Blade in hand is going to have to contend with Violet in the background. Violet is just in and on another continent right now, but it might be good enough. He is healing and using the window from the back line, so the Paris Eternal have to look 15 different directions. Striker comes back on the Tracer, and that'll be all she wrote. The San Francisco Shock stop the payload in its tracks just before that third point again and take the series.
GG's though, honestly, all around. Paris put up a heck of a fight there, and the series was very competitive despite what the match records would have you believe. I love to see it. I really love to see it. Paris still fighting here for the season. They've got one more match, I think.
Yeah, I mean, having a good map like that against the San Francisco Shock, you've got to walk away happy. You know how strong they are. They got a lot of rookie talent, a lot of MVP level talent too. Like, going that far on Route 66 and Eichenwalder, you're feeling pretty damn good if you're Paris. That is for sure. Look, at the end of the day, the Shock do end up taking the dub, and Rose, now they're guaranteed a minimum of third seed. If they end up losing their match against London tomorrow, they will get third seed. If they end up going 2-0, sorry, they do end up with that second seed. And like Scott was saying on the desk, you ideally obviously want the higher seed because then you get to pick your opponent. You won't be able to pick first, but second is good.
I mean, I think that's what is great for the Shock, is that their destiny really is in their own hands, where, you know, they get to play for the wins or the losses that are going to earn them that seed, and this is just the first match in the right direction for them. And yeah, second would definitely be great. There are some really, really strong teams that have qualified for playoffs, and they're going to make it in from play-ins too. You want that choice.
Oh, yes, you do. Looks like Striker is going to be our player of the match today for his... well, he's played a little bit of everything today. I was going to say his Tracer.
Tracer and Sojourn.
A little bit of Tracer, a little bit of Sojourn, yeah, a little bit of the Sombra. Love to see it. Yeah, so Striker, player of the match for today. Although, to be fair, you could probably have given it to Kalush too.
I think...
Although, maybe I wouldn't have given it to Kalush because he didn't play hard.
Oh, come on now.
Just saying.
You're just on this tirade.
That's how I decide player of the matches, by the way. Sneak peek into how the broadcast
happens. Yeah, right.
I pick the player of the match on the heroes they play and if they're funny or not. If you play Torb,
true. What about Bastion? Bastion's an instant player of the match, I think.
Yeah,
that's why we give it to Proper that one time.
Broadcast lore coming at you live, the Overwatch League channel. But yeah, I mean, Striker, of course, we know he's going to do very well on the Tracer. But, you know, his ability to flex onto like something like a Sojourn and even the Sombra is also really nice. Everybody was a bit shocked, I think, to see Striker back on the Shock, right? It was like, well, okay, a very late signing for them. But if Tracer's going to continue to be this prevalent, they can have Striker on that pick, and then they can have proper on literally anything else.
True.
So it's been a good pickup so far for the San Francisco Shock. We'll see how it ends up paying off in the playoffs, but if it's looking anything like it is now, it's solid pickup.
Hey, I mean, remember, Striker was the 2020 Grand Finals MVP for the San Francisco Shock. So maybe,
True.
as Uber would like to put it, lightning will strike twice, and Striker will be able to get them another W. So who knows?
Maybe. I mean, look, we're going to jump to a quick break. We actually got him on the other side of this one with Danny with an interview, so don't go anywhere. You're not going to want to miss that. We'll see what BM he can talk. Give me something at least, Striker. Come on.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Upper Deck, the official trading card of the Overwatch League. And by TeamSpeak, the official voice supplier of the Overwatch League.
Welcome to Game Break, everybody. I'm here joined now by Striker from San Francisco Shock. Striker, congratulations on the win. Clean 3-0 victory for the San Francisco Shock. And, I think this is my first time talking to you after you rejoined the San Francisco Shock. So I just want to ask, how are things going for you? How does it feel to be back with the San Francisco Shock? 자, 오늘 승리 축하드리고 오늘 어떻게 보면 되게 빠른 3대0 승리로 경기를 끝내셨는데 어떻게 보면 이번에 센쇼으로 돌아오신 다음에 저랑 인터뷰가 처음인 것 같아서 그거에 대해서 좀 일단 여쭤보고 싶습니다. 이렇게 오랜만에 예전 소속팀이었던 센쇼에 다시 돌아오시게 되셨는데 좀 소감 말씀 부탁드릴게요.
쇼크에서 오랫동안 플레이해왔는데 다시 돌아오게 되어서 집에 돌아온 것 같이 편하고 행복합니다.
All right, definitely. Coming back to San Francisco Shock, I did spend a lot of time in San Francisco Shock, so it definitely feels good to be back. And it sort of feels like I'm back home, and I am very happy and grateful to be back playing for the San Francisco Shock. Talking about San Francisco Shock as well, I mean, you had an amazing play today, but I think San Francisco Shock has really, really stacked DPS lineup. There's Sam, there's Proper, and of course you as well now. So what is, what is your role in San Francisco Shock as for DPS? 자, 두 번째 질문은 지금 현 어떻게 보면은 센쇼의 로스터 중에서 특히나 딜러 쪽을 보면은 굉장히 쟁쟁한 선수들이 많잖아요. 당연히 스트라이커 선수도 물론 포함이 되고 거기다 프로퍼 선수, 샘 선수까지 있는데 이제 스트라이커 선수가 보셨을 때 지금 센쇼 딜러진에서 이제 자기만의 역할이 있다면 무엇일까요?
일단 제가 생각하기로는 이제 제 역할은 이제 프로퍼 선수 최대한 편하게끔 플레이할 수 있게 만드는 게 제 역할인 것 같아요.
All right, so I believe my role currently with this current San Francisco Shock roster is sort of enabling Proper to make Proper feel comfortable on whatever hero that he chooses to play. So I am there to sort of support Proper's gameplay, and I think that is my role. All right, Striker, that is it for the interview. Thank you so much for your time. Again, big congratulations on the win. 자, 오늘 인터뷰 감사드리고 오늘 승리 너무나 축하드리면서 보내드리도록 하겠습니다. 감사합니다. Thank you.
감사합니다. Thank you.
There you go. It's really nice. It's really nice to talk to Striker.
Yeah.
I'm really happy that he's back, and he looked amazing on that tracer, right?
Yeah, no, it's sort of interesting hear it come from him of like what is his role on the San Francisco Shock, because when he originally signed, a lot of us were questioning, like, why is he coming in? His best hero is Striker. Proper's one of the best tracers that we have in the league. I think I said that weird.
No, that's fine. No, it made total sense. His best role is Striker.
Yeah, Proper is the best role.
Yeah.
Okay, I definitely said that wrong, but it makes sense. Striker's coming in to play that tracer that enables Proper to be able to play the Echo, be able to play the Sojourn, be able to play, anything that is really required from him. So it makes sense, and I'm curious to see how that's going to play out going into the playoffs, because one of Striker's biggest assets is that he has a lot of playoff experience, and that might come up numbers for the Shock in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, this is a Shock that is looking to win the Overwatch League title, right? They're not going to settle for a top 4 or a top 6, and no, nothing about that. They want to win the entire thing. So when the San Francisco Shock signed Striker, I mean, I made sure to question him here on Watchpoint, because I said, hey, his start to the year on Boston Uprising, it was not great, all right? That was not the Striker we knew from 2019 and years like that, right? But on Tracer so far, I mean, it took some time. He didn't play Tracer initially. He's been playing some Sombra for the team as well. I believe he even played some long-range hit scan, stuff like that. So they've been trying to find what is best for Striker and what is best for Proper on this San Francisco Shock team. And now they finally found it. I don't think it's a big surprise either that Striker plays his best when he is on the Tracer, not when he's on the long-range hit scan players. His Sombra, of course, it's something you can rely on. But this is the composition. This is the player composition, the lineup that I think Shock will lean on the most as we move forward. Putting Proper on the long-range hit scans, Sojourn is busted right now, such a strong hero, whether it's in Ranked, whether it's in Overwatch League, and Striker playing his hallmark, like, key hero, the Tracer. The San Francisco Shock, I think they actually have a decent chance at the title now when they figured out this second DPS role. You can talk all you want about the other players on the roster and their impact so far. Kilo, he's been good, but he hasn't quite reached the peak we were anticipating, for example. Now with Striker in the lineup, this is a Shock team that could go all the way.
Yeah, and they have a lot of flexibility in their wheelhouse, and they sort of showcase that in this match.
Yeah.
It was actually a little bit close. Paris almost did finish 2 of these maps, But the San Francisco Shock just playing so many different compositions. We saw Kaluj on the Zai, we saw him on the Sigma, saw him on the Diva, and sort of seeing that flexibility from Finn and Violet as well just sort of makes me feel a little bit more comfortable depending on what the playoff meta is going to be. They've shown that they can play lots of different things and they have the flexibility to move that around, which is a weakness that we have sort of had issues with them in the past with Sam, Kilo, and Proper. It felt like Proper was not always comfortable, but with Strike coming in, that being his role, you know, I'm curious to see what Shock is going to show up.
Yeah, I mean, like Striker said, his role right now is to enable Proper. So I guess we'll find out more from their matches. And, you know, with one more win, they're going to go into the #1 seed. Do you guys think it's possible? Number two, sorry. #1's already locked in for Dallas Fuel.
Yes.
#2 seed. Do you think it's highly likely that they're going to get it?
Shock vs London's an interesting one that's gone back a lot. There's been a lot of history between these two teams just throughout this season. So honestly, it could go either way. We just saw London. They're playing the Rush. Will the Shock know how to deal with that? We will have to find out.
That's going to happen tomorrow. But before we get to that, we have one more match today. That is Toronto Defiant versus the Florida Mayhem. What are you guys looking out for this match?
Well, I want to see Toronto Defiant perform, actually. I mean, this is a team now that they're not able to qualify for the direct playoff spot. Instead, they have to go through the play-ins. And this is a team that they finished third actually, in the Summer Showdown at their own homestand, right? So I want to see them continue with that momentum. They have one of the best backlines in the game with Twilight, a storied player who ironically was on the San Francisco Shock, but also Chorong, one of the best main supports to come into the league on a rookie contract this year. So Toronto Defiant, I want to see them fulfill their potential. Florida Mayhem, they definitely can show some great signs of life as well. Both of these teams will be in the play-ins, so I want to see good stuff from them as we draw closer to the playoff and the final stages of this season.
All right, well, I think all three of us picked Toronto for this match, right?
Yes.
Let's see what our casters think. We have Jaws and Necra. Any of you guys going rooting for Florida Mayhem? Mayhem believers?
Any believers?
Machek?
Look.
No?
Listen to me, okay?
And Josh,
there's a reason why Twilight and
dancing?
are on my Roll Stars list, okay?
Wait, was Josh
Why do I
dancing
stop
during the break?
Yeah.
Josh,
I can't dance anymore.
A double dab at the beginning. I didn't really want to talk about it.
One of these. Look, Scott, I don't want to talk about you, but you're on the desk, unfortunately, so, I mean...
Huh?
Oh, no, wait, no, they might take that out of context. No, I actually like Scott,
Jack's upset at me.
No. Necro, are you also rooting for? Do you think Toronto is gonna win as well,
I'm in the Toronto Defiant camp here. No, I think there is a small chance that Florida can upset, but I think it's Toronto Defiant's time. They had some pretty devastating losses earlier on in the stage, and I feel like it's time for a comeback. You know, this is the final hour. They're gonna rise to the occasion. Get it?
Yeah.
The rise together.
All
right, I think we're done.
We're reaching the end of the season. We ran out of jokes.
voted Hisu over Kevster for All-Star. So I want to see Rollstar Hisu.
That's something that we need to
Ooh.
Josh picked Hisu over
Kevster for Rollstar.
Yeah, so.
Them's fighting words.
What are you? Wow, a true Toronto fan. I see.
You know the best part of the broadcast?
Yeah.
I get told when I can move on. So I don't have to answer that question because we get to go into game. Bye, everybody. I don't have to explain my reasoning. Excellent stuff. Yes, I did pick Hisu as my damage roll star. Look, I like seeing Hisu play. I did pick 3 Toronto players for my roll stars, to be fair. I also had Chorong and Twilight, the Adamantium backline. No, okay, I didn't put Hop in
your favorite
Tank
player?
was like... I know, he's one of my favorite players, but the Tank roll star this season, Rose, you see
that list is actually insanity. Like, there's so many good players, and like you've seen the talk about MVP votes and also roll star votes, and it's like you really can't make a wrong choice. Like it's just that close across the board. Everybody's really stepped it up for this season.
It's super difficult. It was. I think that was one of my hardest ones, was choosing what roll stars are for the tank. Like you said, really it's ridiculous. I think there are obviously some big candidates in there, like Reiner, for example, but yeah, overall it was extremely difficult. I'm curious to see everybody else's, like what the public's kind of thinking and what other kind of personalities around the scene are
who's actually going to win the awards. We'll see.
Definitely a tough thing to pick, but we're going to get into this series. It's Mayhem versus the Toronto Defiant. Rose, obviously both these teams right now are in the play-ins, and this actually could be a match we see again in the play-ins when they start in like a week or 2 weeks or so. You know, like it's kind of insane. Yeah, exactly. Like it's so close now, which is also insane. Regular season ends this week. Ridiculous stuff. But we might actually see this matchup again, which is quite interesting because both these teams, in fact, might not want to show their hand entirely. They are playing on this patch for play-ins, so if the Florida Mayhem or the Toronto Defiant have something in their bag of tricks, do they really want to show it now if their opponents could be each other in a week or so?
Yeah, I don't think you want to, because every little advantage, every little strategy is going to help you propel further, and the ultimate goal from the play-ins is to make it into playoffs, where you've got the big money on the line, the trophy for the season, all of these other things that just the entire season has been leading up to, and so you don't want your journey to be cut short. So yeah, you got to kind of hold on to all your cards if you really can. But I think this matchup's going to be tough. You know, like we were talking about how votes have been really up in the air for all these teams. I think the winner's up in the air too. Jaws, I mean, look at this lineup here for Florida Mayhem. We talked about tanks. Let's talk about someone who has just been pretty standout here for the Florida Mayhem.
Yeah, definitely one of the most well, one of the craziest personalities
animated.
I think we currently have in the league. Yeah, and always animated, on whether it's on camera or on stage or whatever. I try to see him on the big stage, honestly. I think everybody else does as well. I think he's captured the hearts of a lot of Mayhem fans and fans around the league just with his antics. So let's hope the Florida Mayhem do well in this series in the play-ins. They got Checkmate, Hydron, Animo, and RuPaul to round out the lineup starting today, Rose. So no Xe again. We're just seeing Hydron just slotted in there.
Yeah, I think at this point, like it's really tough because Hydron and Checkmate have had and developed so much synergy over the course of the season that it's really difficult to separate them and bring in a new DPS into the lineup that just plays differently. You know, I think that Xe's one of those types of players that has some incredible hero moments, but when you're trying to work with backing up someone's aggressive style of play, you really need players that are going to like have had that experience working together as a unit, right? So that's where I feel like this lineup comes into the fold.
Let's have a look at the Toronto Defiant. 3 players on the lineup today who I put down for Role Stars. We'll see how they can do. Chorong and Twilight, Hotba, Although, and Hisu to start us off today. So no finale. Gonna have Although and the Hees on
Yeah,
Deeps.
I mean, this is just a star-studded lineup. I know we've memed about it a lot, but the talent legitimately is there. We just need to see it kind of shine a little bit brighter today. Like we were mentioning, Toronto have suffered some pretty devastating map 5 losses so far this stage, and this was after coming in 3rd at their own homestand. And so you're really just kind of hoping that this roster can kind of pull themselves together, rebuff the mental, and come into this final week of playoffs or regular season strong.
Yeah, Toronto Defiant still have it in them as well, Rose,
Yeah.
to end the regular season exactly mid, like 0.5 differential. Like they are currently 11-11 with 45 to 45 maps.
I mean, but that's good enough. That's good enough.
That is true, but it is insane that they have an exact equal record. It's honestly a talent in and of itself. And they have 2 more matches to go, Rose, so they could be 12-12. Their next opponent is the Houston Outlaws. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see how that one goes down. But at hand, it is the Florida Mayhem as their first opponent.
Kicking things off here on Ilios, and this is where I totally understand why Animo is going to be in the lineup for the Florida Mayhem. We see him often slotted into the roster for these control maps to be able to play that Lucio and have that speed advantage, but Animo also provides a lot of flexibility to the team where it's not just about the movement and territorial control of the map, but also that high skill expression and just being able to kind of pump out that damage that Florida's going to need for these pretty strong dives. But Chorong too.
Yeah, Hydron I always kind of look to, and I think this will be the big matchup for him to at least prove himself a little bit more. He did at the very start of the season, had a bit of a lackluster stint in like the JQ meta kind of thing, where we saw a little bit more Xe, to be fair, and playing against Hisu, who's notably extremely good on things like Sojourn and just a very, very clutch player at the end of it all, an exciting player to watch. I think the Florida Mayhem or at least Hydron, might have a little challenge here. And I think Florida, especially coming into the season, their roster was kind of chop and change. We have a couple of switch arounds here and there. Sermajed and RuPaul for the Florida Mayhem have been super standout, and I'm glad they have someone like Arnamo 2 Rose who will come out for, well, surprisingly, you know, Lucio good on this map, has also been just a backbone for this team. We'll see how they want to face them, though, as Toronto Defiant do end up losing Chorong to start us off, and Hopper's not soon to follow. The Florida Mayhem with an extremely aggressive wraparound into Cage do end up taking that first cap rather easily.
Yeah, the wraparound actually forced Toronto into that position where they had to try to disengage, but without the Lucio, it kind of made it difficult for Hoppa to get away as well. So someone gets to keep their Zarya charge. They get to keep control and this aggressive positioning. But it really is going to be this like Hisu Hydron duel across this open pit.
Yeah, I think Hisu wants to take a more of an aggressive angle here. Shoot the bubbles. He is charging someone up a little bit, but charging the railgun in the process is Hisu. Hydron ends up taking yet another kill. And that is although he started the last fight off with an elimination. Now he gets another one. Shademate paying attention to Hisu on the high ground. Nice little reflection damage there. Oh, dies to the disruptor shot, but it's okay. His team are there to back him up. Arnamo helps chase down the kill as Florida near that 50% mark.
Yeah, they're going to be racking up percentage pretty quickly here if Toronto aren't able to come back into this one. You're really relying on Twilight now to hit a pretty big window. So you want to see him get into maybe a flanking position to really amp up some of that damage, but
little double hop.
I was like, oh, he's
nice
just
little
getting
attack there. That was super nice. Oh, there's the window. Run, someone. He's good. He had a bubble as well, so it wouldn't have been too much of a problem. Still got to be careful. You are near the pit, and I'm sure Chorong is hunting and searching. Hopper do be on the high ground, though. He did also jump up onto height. He isn't really getting too much damage done. The rest of the Florida Mayhem are kind of just sitting in the cage, but they will have to touch the point, as although it is pressuring the Toronto Defiant have a couple of ults on board, or at least will in a moment or two, as Hopper's nearing that grab, although he's got a pulse bomb and trying to hunt down Hydron. But the Sound Barrier from Florida Mayhem might just be too much tempo for Defiant to actually keep up with. Or Hydron just taking names and numbers with a triple kill, a quadra kill for Hydron there with the railgun to end out the round. Toronto Defiant, where you at?
in spawn. They're in spawn. That Hydron put them in spawn. He put all of them in spawn.
Oh my god.
That was nasty.
Pretty. Oh man. That's rough, right? It's 100-0, and Toronto Defiant, they're coming back with ults. Although it had pulse, and they were nearing like 90+% on like grab, on overclock, and whatnot.
They just couldn't get there on time
then
to like use them.
Florida Mayhem's tempo was just too much for them.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be tough. I feel like Toronto has actually kind of had this problem for a lot of their most recent matches. You know, it's just kind of a little unfortunate that, you know, the stage that they've had so far and the opponents that they have faced have been pretty tough in terms of just pace setters. Like, you know, I think Dallas Fuel has been, you know, a pretty big one, but also just having to play against teams like the Rain, who really like to play aggressive. That was a tough loss for them to start out this stage.
Once again, Florida Mayhem just trying to force themselves in the backline. Toronto Defiant. Hydron opens it up. Twilight ends up going down to checkmate. Wow. Looking a little lackluster now in Toronto. Florida Mayhem. It feels like... This is going to sound incredibly silly, but like it feels like they're just using the speed boost, and Chorong's not at this point. They're always able to kind of push out, like Chorong and Animo just like speeding out spawn, yada yada yada. But like Florida Mayhem are really just pushing. Toronto Defiant a little bit just more reserved, backing up slightly, wanting to play around the point, as Florida Mayhem just trying to force the issue more often than not.
No, I absolutely know what you mean. It's just like Florida, they're really not waiting around to try to get into the best position to do things. They are just kind of pressing the W key and doing what they do best, which is just using their mechanical skill to get these picks.
All right, there's a pick for Defiant now. They do take down RuPaul. Can Hydron save this? Oh, an aggressive beat from the Florida Mayhem there. Hits 3 people, but the grab from Hopper will end that fight. rather overeager maybe, but they still managed to get the Graviton Surge out from the Toronto Defiant. As, now Toronto do control.
Yeah, well, that was a pretty heavy investment there. You saw the Amplification Matrix and the Graviton Surge. Actually, double support ultimates being used for Florida, though, doesn't feel great either, but someone at least gets a chance to come back into this one. Wow. And with Hydron getting the pick onto Hisu, this is a free grab.
God, he is dominating right now. Twilight does receive the beat, taking the 1v1 quite handily. Graviton Surge comes out from someone, is blocked. Well, the majority of the damage is blocked by that lamp. Can Defiant get healed up quick enough? Doesn't look like it. Although right now harassing Arnamo, trying to force him into different positions and away from the rest of his team, and also keeping the Lucio low so he can't peek out. It is go time for Hisu as he unlocks the overclock, but so does Hydron. And look at Hisu backing all the way up. Doesn't want anything to do with this fight whatsoever. Just the sheer presence of both Checkmate and Hydron enough to kind of scare him away, and we're not even in Halloween yet. Toronto Defiant do end up losing control, but the Florida Mayhem still willing to take them to the cleaners as they do push up all the way, well, close to their spawn. Not quite there yet, but I can imagine we're going to get touched the spawn.
I think so. You may as well at this point. You have a pretty big lead over Toronto in terms of capture progress, and you're going to be actually at like last fight territory by the time that Toronto come back into this one. Even Hisu actually, you know, tried the Widowmaker for a short time there. Going to go back over to the Sojourn. But that's another pick. That's speed that Toronto don't have. And they've got to get a reset in here unless Hisu's able to get a second pick.
Okay, how do Florida Mayhem really grapple around this? Because, yeah, they do need that pick.
To back up.
But killing RuPaul does force Florida to back all the way up. 99% is approaching for Florida as Arnamo's close to that beat. He's got to be careful, though. Looks like, yeah, Hopper and although wanted someone dead, and they got their wish. Overtime was reached, but Toronto Defiant do cap. Wasn't really much of a fight there. It was just like running down someone, waiting for RuPaul to come back.
Yeah, and this is where things get a little dicey for the Defiant. They really only have all those Pulse Bomb to try to take out somebody in the back, but when RuPaul has the Immortality Field, that's not something that is easily taken out, especially if you can wait till the last second before that Pulse Bomb ends up going off. So, Sound Barrier, Amplification Matrix, Florida coming in hot.
Yep, Arnamo's even holding on to that Sound Barrier too. The Florida Mayhem pushing the Toronto Defiant to their brink. Sound Barrier available. Okay, eventually it comes out. I got a little bit worried there, and I think the rest of the Florida Mayhem did too. A Sound Barrier plus a lamp does help them survive that Graviton Surge, as now the Florida Mayhem determined to take this point back. All those damage looking rather lackluster on that Tracer right now. He's actually getting out damaged by Arnamo of all people. My word, what a round number one, or map number one I should say. Florida Mayhem with a quick and clean 2-0.
Yeah, that was super, super clean there for Florida. They are definitely on a hot streak right now. Hydron seems very warm and very ready to fight this duel out with Hisu. And he's been winning a lot of the times right here. I mean, just the quad that we saw on Well, yeah, he's ready to go.
Yeah, he's in it to win it. Florida Mayhem up a map already. Wow, what a start. What more can you ask for from Florida Mayhem? It looks like smiles across the board. I mean, Hydron's cheesing ear to ear after that quadra kill. I would be as well. All right, we're going to jump to a break. We'll see if Toronto Defiant having any more success on map number 2.